Hello, what's up everyone? How's everyone doing? Just trying to check if this audio is actually working. Yeah, looks like the audio is actually working as we need it. Yeah. Okay, welcome back fams. Welcome back everyone. It's kind of been quite a long time since we did a stream. So I think this should be almost a week right now, if I'm actually correct. Yeah, so almost a week since the last stream I did, which was on the tech again. I think that was on Flutter, if I still remember. Yeah, I think that was on Flutter. Yeah, pretty sure that was on Flutter. So welcome back, guys. Yeah, it's a new stream. Basically, we just wanna kind of like talk about some bit of a story, and then while talking about it, then building my old project. So basically, the story is based on my old project that I did when I was starting out as a software engineer. Basically, I was a front end engineer. So um, I don't know if the story is that much of is that interesting, but I just want to tell you why rebuilding the old project again. So yeah, basically this the whole project is in React. So the whole stuff happened with React. So yeah. So I'll be building basically before we actually get into the whole study. So first of all, we need to talk about what we'll be doing. So basically, I'll be rebuilding my old project, which most of you already know. And most of you have been requesting that I actually do a video on it or a live stream on it. Let me make sure I can show that. Yeah, it's been quite a long time, almost 2 years right now, if I could still remember. I'll just check the GitHub repo and see if I'm actually correct. Yeah, I think it's almost 2 years. I don't know if you guys have seen my screen, or also if the audio is actually good. Let me know so I can actually see what I can do to fix it if it's not good. Yeah, so basically this is what I'm trying to create right here, and this is basically where the whole story starts from. So the whole story revolves around these projects. Yeah, and today basically instead of building this with using Create React, I will not be building it using Create React. I'll be building this using Vite. Yeah, because the old one I did was with Create React, which you guys can see on GitHub. Yeah, it's actually on GitHub, so you can actually go back and check it out on GitHub. But I'll be doing this one using yeah, basically using Vite. I don't know if you guys have used Vite before, but if anyone have used it, you actually notice that it's pretty fast compared to using bare React or any other stuff to build your React apps or projects. So yeah, so that's basically it. So let's see. First of all, let me just actually seed it to a project, to a directory. So I'll be doing this on development directory I have on my system. So in there, okay, I think this is all about the project. So it's actually working fine, the old one. So in here we just say Vite. I think there's a Vite command that I need to use. Let me actually cross check that. I should hope over here and go to Vite website. Vite, yeah, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that very well. So get started, scroll down all the way here. So basically I will be using npm, I think, yeah, npm or yarn. I don't know which one to use, but I think we can actually try to use yarn. Yeah, let's use yarn. So yarn Vite templates, okay. But this is not going to be Vue. This is going to just be React. Like I said, this is going to be React because the whole story is based on React. So let's go ahead and do this. So I just copied this. So I'm going to paste it in here. Yeah. So paste the whole stuff. Okay, there is not what we should be pasting here. I don't know where it's copied in this. Copy that. So just copy this yarn once we got that copied, I'm just gonna paste it here. Okay, yeah, now it's working. So I'm gonna switch this from Vue to React, just React, and we won't be using any other something like React TypeScript or any other stuff. Well, just ReactJS. They react with JavaScript, so that's called React. So template is React. Yarn create Vite. So the project name. So remember to actually change your project name. So over here, the project name is I'm gonna call that pro.slideshow. So pro.slideshow. I think that will make sense. Yeah, product structure. Actually, I should name it something else because the old one. Okay, yeah, just leave it at product structure. So go ahead and hit enter. Now yarn is not found. I think that's due to I didn't install yarn, but I think we can just switch to npm since we can't use yarn on our app. So we're just gonna go ahead and switch to npm. I think that would be much better. Let's see. So I'm gonna rewrite the whole command again in using npm. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. So basically the same command just changed. The only thing we need to change is just the npm, the yarn to npm, yeah, and then we can just hit enter key again. So let's wait for this to build. What's this saying? Following packages. Okay, yeah, proceed, yes. Now we get the whole stuff, creating our projects for us. Okay, let's see. Target directory project is not empty. Remove existing files and continue. Okay, yeah, that's true. We need to recreate this again because I already have a directory called slideshow, product slideshow. So let's change this. Okay, yeah, call this product card slideshow because the old one, the one I did for the job, is called product slideshow. So I'll just call this product card slideshow. Yeah, slideshow. I think that makes more sense. Okay, so we got this working. So go ahead and hit the enter key, and now we are faced with I think I already chose React. Okay, React and JavaScript. Okay, the whole project is done with. I'm gonna go ahead and cd to the directory, and here we are inside the directory. I'm gonna clear this out, and I'm gonna say open this in my VS Code. Yeah, that is working over here. Now we already have the VS Code showing up. I'm gonna just go ahead and expand this a bit. So I'm kind of like a bit excited trying to build this out because it's been quite a long time so far since you guys have requested I actually do this, but most of you didn't know there's actually a story behind this, why I uploaded it on GitHub in the first place, and the whole stuff, and why I just added the short video clip to YouTube. Yeah, but today I'll just be explaining all the stuff. So right now we already have this GitHub repo, not our GitHub repo, our VS Code open with our projects in it. So let's go ahead and test this out. So I'm going to open a terminal right here. So here's our terminal. Yeah, so let's give this a try. So I'm going to say npm run. I think that should be it. Okay, npm dev. So let's say npm dev. Okay, no. npm run dev. Let me see. So it failed to load. Config. Let's try npm install on this. So let's just try npm install. I don't know why this is failing to be or actually run for development. Okay, so we have npm installed. So I'm gonna play this again. So run the previous code, npm run dev. Yeah, I think we have this running right now. Test this out. Let's copy the localhost, paste it here, and here is our base Vite plus React project. So you can actually see there's nothing much here, just a counter button, increment button to keep incrementing the number once you keep on tapping on it. Okay, so once we have this running, so I think it's time to actually go ahead and start building the project. But before we start, kind of like go ahead and start building the project, just want to talk about a little bit about the whole project. So basically this project right here that will be creating in this stream. So the project is from a client's work who approached me on, yeah, that was on Upwork. Yeah, a client that approached me on Upwork. So they kind of like he kind of like brought this project that he wanted me to create a landing page for him for his products, yeah, something like that. So yeah, and he also hinted that he liked my work and something like that. So yeah, after or before those stuff. So yeah, so after that he gave me the project. He wanted me to actually build the whole stuff, and then I was actually starting out. So before when this was actually going on, so I was starting my my career. Yeah, I think that should be 1 year into my career, something like that. And I don't think it's up to a year almost. So, and he needed me to do a test, yeah, a test before he could actually award me the project. And the funny thing is that then you already know, so we are actually looking for money, and I was actually in a mood trying to get some money and trying to solve some issues thereabout. And I decided, okay, yeah, why not try the test? And if I pass, so why you can actually award me a test. But the funny thing is that the test was actually building the real project. I didn't know about that, so he gave me this as a test, and I went ahead and just did the test and built this and sent the whole file. That another interesting fact there is that I sent the whole file to this person on Upwork, and the whole file. When I made the whole file, I sent all the code, everything to him to actually verify the test before he can actually give me the project to work on. And yeah, kind of like conclude the whole project and the price and other stuff. And I gave this person this whole project, and I was ghosted for like up to today. I was ghosted, but along some time I kind of like came across something like this on the web. I don't know if if it's still the same person, but I couldn't remember again. But I saw this stuff on somewhere on the web, so that's where kind of like I decided to build this stuff live again for you guys. So yeah, I think that's it for the project, but for the whole story behind this, yeah. Let's go ahead and start working on this. So over here, so we already have this stuff running. I'm gonna go ahead and start implementing this one at a time. Next stuff we can actually do is to go over into the project, open the source directory. So inside the source directory we have our asset folder, and inside our asset folder we can actually go ahead and create our projects. So let me see what stuff we actually need to install. I think we actually need to install some packages. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna install some packages. So the first package I'm gonna install is basically Material UI. So we'll be using Material UI. For those of you who are new or interested in what Material UI is. So Material UI is basically a UI system, or some people call it design system, you can actually use to build your project. So where's it again? Not Material templates, it's called Material UI. No, not this one. I'm talking about Material UI, which should be, I think this should be, no, okay, let's actually complete this. Material UI React. I think that would be much better to actually factor this. I think this should be it. Okay, this is the GitHub repo. Wait a second, where's this? Okay, there we go. And here is the Material UI. Head over to the documentation. You can actually go to the documentation right here. Yeah, so this is the Material UI we'll be using for building the project, and this is actually what I used in the old project. So yeah, if for those of you who have already seen the old project, so we use this, the same Material UI. So that's why we'll be installing the same Material UI everywhere. So in here, I'm going to create a new terminal. Start up a new terminal. I already have this running, so this new one, and go ahead and install Material UI here, Material Core. Over here, I'm going to say npm I for install, then it's just install Material UI Core. Okay, now we have an issue. So what is it about? npm install. Okay, looks like, let's see. I don't know why this is actually failing. Should actually be installing. Unable to resolve dependency tree while resolving. Okay, let's actually try to stop the project from running first and just try this again. I'll go ahead and close this from running, clear this out, and go ahead and install the same command again. Okay, that's funny. Unable to resolve dependency tree while resolving product card slideshow at open. Okay, root project could not resolve dependency React from. Okay, this depends on React 16 or React 17. Okay, let's see. I think I should go ahead and install this. At 4.11.4 will it actually work? Okay, that's still failing. I think this is because I'm using React 18. Yeah, I'm using React 18, but this depends on React 16 or React 17. So I think that's the reason why we're having these issues. Let me actually see this. So this was updated 7 months ago. If that's the case, so I don't think that should be the case right here. It should be able to build. It should be able to install. I mean to say. Okay, let's do this again. Then with dash force, but shouldn't be able to be. We shouldn't be doing that. But let's try. See if this can install with that command. Okay, that installed. So let's see what we have. So right now we installed at material core, at material UI slash core. Next, I will just install at material UI icons also, and also at material UI styles. It's gonna be a long time. It's actually a long time since actually did anything to material UI. So npm install at material UI icons. Another one should be styles. So this is the next one. So have the material UI core, the material UI icons, the material UI styles. Let's see what else do we need to do. I think that's it. Yeah, you can just go ahead and start using these ones, and then dash first. Okay, so we have what just happened. Okay, yeah, so we have those installed right now. So I'll go ahead and start run this again, run our project. That should be npm run dev to actually run this. And you can actually see how pretty fast this is. Just test immediately. Okay, cool, nice one. So next we can actually do it right now, guys. We can just go ahead and start creating the whole project. So right now, let me see, app.js. Inside of app.js, still need to do some clearing. So I think first of all, just create the structure of the app, but I will still be using the old code base structure. So basically the structure of the app starts with, we have a container, a component folder called our components. I think this is corresponding components. Yeah. Inside the components folder, I'm going to create another folder called cards. So this holds our cards. Still inside the component folder, I'm going to create another one called card wrapper. Still inside components, I'm going to create another one called header. And next, I'm going to create another one called style component. So basically, the style component is where we'll be just doing styling using material UI styles. Style components. There you go. No, this shouldn't be inside header. Okay, I think we messed up here, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Yeah, move to trash. So this should be inside component itself. So still call that style components. There you go. And first, we are going to start with a card component. Create card.jxx. And inside a card, I think from the previous product, I think I should rename this to product card, so it actually make more sense. So rename this to product card. Yeah, product card.jsx. Okay, so so we have the product card right in here, and this is going to be a React Native, not React Native. Okay, what happened? Yeah, so this is going to be a React component, and I'm going to use the quick shortcut to create React functional component. Here we go. Next, we are going to do is basically, let's save this. And I'm going to take this product card that we just created right here and move that to app.js. So basically inside our app.js, we need to remove all the code we have right here. Just delete everything. Yeah, just delete the whole stuff, and I'm going to add the product card in here. and this we need to import this also. I'm gonna say import. Okay, save this. I can actually see there's nothing in the screen except a word that says product card. So this is what we have so far. Let's find a way to minimize this a bit and then minimize this so you can actually see them side by side. Okay, so there we go. And like I said, we already have the same product card and the word that said product card right in here. And next off, I'm going to use Material UI card system. So inside Material UI, there's a component called card, and that's what we'll be using. And we can actually go ahead and create our own card if we want. Basically, create that from scratch, and that's basically using div and styling it to look like a card or something like that. But we can just go ahead and use Material UI to create our card. In here, so I'm gonna say card. So this is what the card looks like. This is what material card looks like. If you take a look, actually see exactly this what it definitely looks like, and this is what the project card should actually look like. You can see that right here. Yeah, so that's why we'll be using the card from Material UI. So let's go ahead and use this. I'm gonna put this here, and we need to import card from Material UI card from dash at Material UI card. Yeah, that's how we import this. And next, I'm going to use that card in here instead of the div that we have. So basically we just remove the div entirely and replace the div with the card. So I'm gonna say card. I don't know if I'm actually fast or I'm slow with typing, but if you ask me, I think I'm a bit fast. So we have this. Just remove the class name for now. Save this and see if there's any changes. Okay, there's nothing. Let's add a test in there and see with H1. Okay, yeah, that works. So you can actually see material card showing up here with H1 tag test inside it. So that's cool. And like I said, we didn't have to do any other stuff. The only stuff we did just getting material, using Material UI, installing that in our project, and just having it to run in our app. That's all. And next, after that, I'm going to go ahead and create a style, and we are going to use the style to style our card. So to start with, we are going to add a material styles. So this is how to install it. Not install it, just import it. Say import. Yeah, import bracket, because that's not the default export. So I can actually say bracket make styles. Yeah, I think that should be this. Yeah, I think this one. Make styles / styles. There you go, nice one. And down below, you can actually just make use of it. Say use styles is equals to make styles. Yeah, I don't want to use the theme property, so since we're not using the theme, I can just pass a object, literal in there, close this off, and right in there I'm going to create this. So this actually reminds me of using React Native. So in React Native, this is actually how we do our styling. In React Native, we call that style sheet. Yeah, style sheet, but this is actually the base way to construct a style, to start up your component and all those stuff in style in React Native. So maybe they took the idea from Material UI. I don't know. Yeah, but anyway. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and say in here class name. Class name should be use styles. Is that use styles? Okay, before we actually do that, in here I'm gonna go ahead and say const classes is equals to use style, which is this that we created here, and then we could just use the class which will be classes dot root. So classes dot root. If you save this, you can actually see there's no actual changes showing up because we actually haven't done anything to start with. So we just need to start adding some stuff here. First, I'm gonna add. I think do I need to add? Okay, yeah. Just max width. Set the max width to be 290. So the max width should be 290. There's no need of adding pixels to it. Actually, just see this actually formatted to take the max width of 290. That's why you can actually see this being centered in it. Because previously, if you remove the max width, actually allowing is kind of actually using the width of the inner shard, which is in this case is an H1 test. H1 test. So it's just taking that particular width of the shard, and if you just add this max width, that means if the shard is actually bigger than the max width, it just kind of like clamp and kind of like stays in the center. So yeah, there we go. And after adding this, so let's see if there's any other stuff I need to add. Next, I will just say let's start adding some stuff here. So I'm gonna add a card media. So basically, a card media is another component from Material UI you can actually use to add images, videos. I think videos into your material card component. So it's actually a shard to card component itself. So I just imported that. So it's called import card media from Material UI core card media, and in here you can just use the card media. Yeah, and there you go. And inside the card media, there's some other stuff we need to add. The component tag that we are trying to use is image, because it's image that should be there. And next we have the auth. So the auth keyword is basically for screen readers. So when a screen reader is using the app, they can actually, if they are not seeing the image, so the screen reader will actually know that this is actually an image that we are trying to represent, and then you can use the image name right here. So the image name is called contemplative reptile, which is actually not true. We need to change this, but for now let's leave it as that. So we call that dummy test. And next I'm going to add a height for this card media, and the height, I can say the height should be 290. We go. And next, the image itself, but in this case, since we'll be doing this later, but I think I actually go ahead and find a way to use an image, maybe get an image from online. I don't know, this code suggests, I don't know if this is actually an image that's been suggested to us, but if it is, we just use it like that. But if not, you could just try to add our own image. So let's save this. Okay, for some reason that didn't work, so that's not an actual image. So so right now I will show you guys how I usually get my images whenever I'm trying to work on a project. I'm looking for a dummy images. I will just say images, type images on the web, and in here you can actually see some fancy images to use. So let's see, actually use any of this, then right click. So when you find the image, just right click on it, then copy image link. So if you copy the image link, paste it on a new tab, and here you actually see the image that you copied. But in some cases the image will have extra params at the end. Let's try removing this. Come on, no, I didn't bookmark you, just remove from bookmark. So I don't need this extra params, but most of the times if you remove this, it's going to cause an issue. But in our own case, let's try removing it. If it causes an issue, you can just leave it back. So I think this should actually size. Just remove from here all the way to this point, delete this, and then enter. Okay, in that case we can actually see the image, so we need to leave those query params at the end. So these are called query parameters that this particular location, whatever is located in needs, maybe in the back end, the server back end of the people of the actual people that gets image, which is actually iStock photo. Okay, this is iStock photo, and on their back end it has this ID, and the ID is basically this. Okay, what did we actually do? What did I do? Okay, yeah. So just copy this and then use this in our own projects. I'm basically go ahead and remove this that we have here. I don't need this anymore. Yeah, just remove that because we actually tested it out and it didn't work. So just remove that. Save this. Go back and see if this will actually show up as an image, but for some reason this is not showing up. Okay, let's go ahead and add a title. Card media image to be displayed as the background image. Either image or source ROC prop must be specified. Note that the color must specify the height, otherwise the image will not be visible. So actually specify the we specify the height, but for some reason the image is still not visible. I don't know if we actually needed to use a URL image in here, or just let's see. Okay, looks like URL image is not supported, so I will need to add some images in here. So inside our source directory, so stay inside the source directory, the asset file, I will need to add another directory called images. So this should be called images, and inside the images directory I'm going to drag some images and drop it in there. So here we go. So in here, inside the development, so we are looking for the, okay, yeah, no, not this one. So this should be product/show, and inside the product/show, inside source directory, open the images folder we created here. I'm going to drag all this image that we have here and then put it inside our images folder right in here. So there we go. And next, inside the images folder right here, next stuff I'm going to do is basically go ahead and say yeah, so we're going to go ahead and create an index.js, just say constant image assets should be this, and inside the image assets we are going to use so this one we could also name this to be what, headset. So I could say this should be headset. Yeah, this first image should be called headset. So the headset, what I could actually do is to go ahead and locate where this is. So that should be ./headset.png. Hope this is png, headset.png. okay, that's cool. Next I'm going to go ahead and export this as default image assets, and then go ahead and use this in here. So I'm going to say import default from assets images. There you go. And go ahead and remove this stuff we already added, this URL image. Okay, so there we go, image asset.headset. Okay, so what happened? inspect. Okay, we have this issue required is not defined. Okay, in that case, I think actually if we use Babel right here, that should actually work. In here, since this is not defined and we can't use it, one way to actually fix this will be just to say, let's say at the top, let's say import headset from dot slash headset. I'm gonna remove this to be just headset. Save this. And then head over here, save. Yeah, there we go. So that's working. So we're actually good. We are getting somewhere. So we actually have the, so the reason, okay, most of you would actually be asking, why do this here? Why not actually go ahead and import this directly inside this place that we need it? So the reason for doing that is I just want to have a single place where I will have all the images that I'll be using in the app being exported from. In that way, if I want to track any issue, I'll be able to track, okay, which one to change and which one not to change. So that's basically it. I usually do this for my colors, images, any asset I'm actually trying to add inside the app that is not being generated by my code or something like that. Yeah, I just do it that way, have a separate place to export the whole stuff and then use it in the app. Yeah. But if we're actually going by that rule, I think I broke one right now. So if in that case, I should be have an index here that should be able to export any component that we're going to create in here. But yeah, that's still the same. So let's go ahead and do this. So right now I added this image showing up here, and if you take a look, actually bring this down a bit, and if we take a look from the old one we created, actually see that's actually looking good. It's actually the same. Let's go back with Vite. So there we go, and let's go ahead and with the product card, I'm gonna format this code, save this, and next stuff we need to actually add, since we added the image media, basically the image for our product card. So it's time to start adding the content for our product card. Basically what we mean by content is basically the word that describes what the product is all about. Like over here, you can actually see this word that says web development, cutting edge, then subtext, and then every other stuff. So let's go ahead and do that. So for us to add a content, there's something called, I already given you guys an export to that. So there's a component called card content from material UI. So we're going to use the card content below here. So there we go. And inside the card contents, we can actually go ahead and start adding what should be in there. And for now, we are going to be using typography for our test. So in most cases, you can actually go ahead and use basically h1 tag or paragraph tag or div to actually add your text in there. But in our case, I'm just going to go ahead and use card content, not card content, typography. Come on, why am I even messing this up? So yeah, we need to import another one called typography. Typography from material UI core. There we go. Next, let's use the typography right in here inside our card content. So inside our card content, I'm going to create a typography. Okay, what did I do? Close this off. Yeah, and in here we can actually, for now, we just add a dummy word, cutting Okay, that's not the spelling of the latest cutting edge technology. Okay, yeah, we just leave it that way. Go ahead and format this code. So let's take a look at the typography component itself and see what it has. So it has something called gutter bottom. So gutter bottom is actually a we add a spacing between it and another typography. Let's actually cross check that because I already forgotten what that does again. But I think that should be it. Typography. No, where is it? Typography. Yeah, typography. There we go. You can actually see. Okay, let's see. Actually, okay, variant is basically you can use the variant to determine if it's H1, H2, or any other stuff. And also the component that you want to use. Yeah. The gutter bottom is not actually added in here. You can actually go to the API and see what changes that were. Yeah, you can actually see the gutter bottom. If through the test we have a bottom margin. Yeah, I'm correct. Yeah, that's it. So you actually have a bottom margin. Yeah. Next I'm going to copy some other so we have the gutter bottom. Variant should be H1, component should be H1. Once that is added, I'm going to add a. So go ahead and save this and see what this looks like. Ambiguous indirect export. Okay, so we need to. Okay, now we have an issue. So we already have one place we are exporting, getting the items, so no need of creating this one. So go ahead and save this again. Now should be able to run this. Okay, yeah, that's working. You can actually see that cutting edge technology, but this is too big. There's no way what we are trying to do. But how to fix this? I'm going to create a styling. Remember, we can always style our material components. So I'm going to say class name. The class name should be classes dot heading. That's what we're going to use. So I'm going to name that classes. Yeah, classes dot heading. Yeah, I think that should be good. And in here we should just add a styling to here. Heading styling. Go ahead and do this. And in here, so I'm going to just add a font size. So say font size should be 2.4 em. So in this as a string. So yeah, in CSS there's different ways for measuring our kind of like increasing sizes or some basically when you're increasing size you're actually doing pixel increment or something like that. So we have we have measurements like pixels, we have em, we have rem, which is rem, yeah, and we have v vertical height and vertical which denotes as vw and vh. So basically most cases you kind of like always use font size. For font size and text styling, we always use pixels and em and rem. Yeah, I think so. So go ahead and save this. Now you have this shrink down a bit to a smaller size. So once we have that, I'm going to just go ahead and increase the font weight. And just say this should be 700. Go ahead and save this. So we have font weight of 700. So we don't need to add that as a string. I think that's it for now. So let's actually take a look and see how this is looking right now. I think it's good. We are good to go. What next are we trying to do? So we added the title, which is we found here. So this title we already added that. So next should be the subtext. So we need to add a subtext for the card. So let's go back. So for the subtext also, we just need to actually do the same typography that we're using. So I'll just copy the same we just copy the same typography and do some changes to it. Okay, paste the code right here. Over here we say variant should be body 2. Basically, if you go to the typography instruction, or when you're dealing with headings in front end development, so we have heading, we have h1 for heading, h2 for kind of like, the more you kind of go down in the h tags, you kind of like have the heading kind of like taking a little precedent above the previous one. So h1 is more kind of like saying, okay, this is the main heading. h2, I would kind of like say kind of like a subheading or something like that, and you keep on going down. h3 the same way, and you can actually have subtitles and subtitle 2, body 1, body 2, and thereon. So, and also button text, caption text, keep on going further. In this case, we're using body 2. You can actually see how small the body 2 actually appears right here. So this is how small the body 2 text appears. So we are going to be using the body 2 text in here, and then with the color, we are going to say the color is going to be text dash secondary color, and then the component that we are going to be using is called paragraph p tag. And let's go ahead in here. For now, we're going to add a dummy text, which is going to be lorem ipsum. Going to format the code, save this. Once we have that saved, actually see what that looks like, but this text looks like it's too small. What we could do is actually go over here and inspect this and copy the text from there and use those tests. HTML file is template. Wait a second. Enable JavaScript. Let me see. Body. Okay, so let's figure out another way to get that text out. Let me see if actually, okay, we can't do the direct copying, but I can actually get the text from, yeah, that reminds me, I actually have the text somewhere. Let's see if I can actually find out where the text is being kept. Okay, yeah, I found it. So I'm going to copy it over. I'm going to create a new folder right here, and I'm going to call the folder to be utils folder. So just call that to be called as utils folder, and inside the utils folder, basically we just create a new file. The new file will just be for adding tests, dummy tests. So you don't want everything to be deleted everywhere, just want a specific place where all the tests will be in. So I'm going to name this custom test. Is there anything like custom test? Okay, let's just keep going with that word. So custom test.js, and in here just have it this way, and then go ahead and export this. Export default details. Save this. And now you can actually go ahead and use this. I will just export it and import it here. Basically say import details from here. And once we imported details, so how do we use this? So this is actually an array of objects, object rituals, array of objects. So because it's an array of objects, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace what we have here by saying it should be details at index 0 dot sub. If you save that, head over here, you can actually see that being added. Okay, that's cool. Next off, we can actually add is the button for our card. So let's go ahead and add a button for the card. And to add a button for the card, that's something we're going to use something called card actions. So we need to import this component called card actions. Import card actions. So instead of doing another import here, basically import that from here, card actions. There you go. And we could just go ahead and use the card options somewhere here. Okay. Say card actions, and in there we could just add a dummy word right now, and see what that looks like. So call that to be lead more. Okay, just leave it that way. Save this. Just see this, but it's not kind of like showing up as the button that we want it to show up like. So you see this is actually appearing like a button, but the issue right now is that if you hover over it, it doesn't hover like a button. So those are issues we need to fix, those ones, but we need it to be in this form. So to fix that, I'm going to create another component which I'm going to call button, and the component is going to be called read more. So for the read more, I'll be doing that inside the start component. So right now I'll be showing you guys how to use the styled components using material UI styled component. So the styled component is just like as if you are using main styled component itself. So I don't know if most of you guys know about, there's a tool for front-end development called styled component. We usually use that, and it's actually fun to use and cool. You can use that to create a lot of different UI design and stuff for your web stuff, projects like that. So it's called styled component, and you can just, this is how to create a styled. So you say constant button style of button, and then create a style for that particular button, export it and start using it. So there are so many ways to actually do with it. So it's actually fun if you guys will actually go ahead and try it, but it's still the same way that we're going to be doing it right here. So material UI is actually adopting the same ways to do stuff, and in here I'm gonna import some stuff and just explain what I'm doing. So go ahead and paste this. So we have this right here, and I'm gonna say export, or basically just say const. This is called readme button because the name want to call should be called readme or read more. Just call read more btn. So btn stands for button, is equals to styled button. Yeah, is equals to styled button. So what do you want to style? So here's the fun part. So the styled button, how it works, like I said, it still works the same like as if you are using the styled component library itself. So this the same way it works. So like over here, whenever you want to style something, you're actually styling a HTML tag itself. Over here we are styling an anchor tag, and so actually whatever we want it to look like. And over here we are styling an HTML button tag the same way. If you kind of like go more to the examples, you can actually see you can style a p element, any stuff you can think about. You can style a div, whatever you can think about. So the same scenario that is actually playing out here. So over here we are trying to style a button, and the button is actually from material UI itself. They already created a button, so this is what the material UI button looks like without us styling it on our own. So this is what material UI button looks like. So this is material UI button. As you can see, this is the button. These are the buttons. So we already have the material UI buttons right here, but in our own case we want to create a different look for our button, because none of this button here come close to what we're looking for. If you take a look right here, you can actually see our button is a bit different from what we have, or from what they are offering us to use. So that's why we are just creating our own. So let's go. and I'm gonna copy some code in there, and then we can actually explain what is going on. In here, paste this, and let's go ahead and talk about this. So over here, I'm gonna say lead more button is actually a button. Yeah, it's actually a button for you. Over here we have a background color. The background color is still the same color as this. Border is 0. It doesn't have any border. If you take a look over here, it doesn't have any border. Border radius is 50 to have this rounded curved, yeah, border radius. Color is white for the text color, and height is 28 for the whole height. We have the padding, the whole padding from here, left, that's basically horizontal and vertical. And next we have text transform is capitalized, so the whole text should be capitalized. And margin, so it should have a margin of 0 pixels also, so this should be centered within the card. That's why we are using this 0 pixels also. So this is actually the one old way of centering, using centering stuff with CSS. So this has actually been old. So we have a question. Oh damn it, actually missed a okay, we got a question on chats on Twitch. Okay, I missed this. How long was this? Oh, okay, yeah, I actually do app development too. Yeah, basically when it comes to front end, so I mostly focus on front end, both on mobile apps and web. So yeah, so but mostly I focus on mobile apps, and I also do web. Yeah, I don't know if that answers your question. Yeah, so that's the question from Twitch chat. So yeah, guys, I don't know if I'm actually late to the question, but yeah. So right in here, so we say web components. So we have this web component that we created. Yeah, so like I said, the margin here is actually the old way, kind of like one of the oldest way to center stuff in CSS. And then we have margin bottom, so we added the margin bottom right there, and at hover, so we are saying and at hover, CSS at hover, it should have its background to remain this, so even if you hover on it, it's still the same. So let's go ahead and do that. Start using that in our app. So this is our app, so I will need to export this. Go ahead and save this. In here, I'm gonna add, so this is called readme button inside the product card. Let me go ahead over here and add that. So where should this be? Yeah, say import. So import readme from styled components. Yeah, go ahead and save that. Then use that read more button in here. So just basically say read more. Add that in there, and next we can actually go ahead and maybe if we want to do some styling on it or not. So and just go ahead and save this for now and see what this looks like. And there we go. You can actually see how cool that's looking. So you see the hovering. So once you hover on it, see how that looks. Go out, hover back, go out, hover back. So that's looking cool. So let's just tap on it, see the effect. So all these effects are actually from Material UI itself. The ripple effect that you are seeing is from Material UI, and then the hover effect is from us. So we are the one adding the hover effect. So next stuff is that if you take a look right here on our own, you can actually see our button has the chevron to it. So I need to add a chevron right to our button. So let's go back in here. Nope, right here. I'm gonna say chevron right. So chevron right is actually a Material UI icons. So this is basically how to add a Material UI icons. That's what we'll be doing right now. And in here we need to import that from material UI icons. So say import chevron right from chevron right. Yeah, save that. You can actually see the import is from material UI icons, like folder, yeah, directory, then slash chevron right, which is the another directory where the chevron icon code exists. So there exists. So you actually see the chevron right is already added into our card immediately. So that's cool. Next stuff you can actually go ahead and do. So right now I save this. Let's take a look and see if there's something else we're missing, because I don't think so. I think we are good to go. I think creating the whole card is done with. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so next one we should just go ahead and move towards to creating card wrapper. So I call this whole stuff we create a wrapper where we are going to have all this bunch of these three, should I say bunch, these three cards in there, kind of like with these rotating animations. So we are going to do that right now. So create another component in here, call that card wrapper dot jxx. Inside the card wrapper dot jxs, so next stuff you can actually go ahead and do is to add React functional components. Called the card wrapper. So this where we create a React functional component. It's called card wrapper. Cool, nice one. So I'm gonna remove this. We don't need that. So inside the card wrapper, what we need to do next is just go ahead and create a div. Okay, I don't need to remove the div. I created previously, so keep the div right in there. Have this div, and inside the div we are going to have a URL, basically an ordered list, and inside the unordered list we are going to have all this stuff as a list, all these card items as a list. So that's what we are going to do right now. So let's go ahead and remove this. Say we have a URL. I think I'll just go ahead and copy this and just add the code and explain what is going on. I think that should be much faster. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this, paste the code right here. So once we get the code paste, we paste the code in here. So we're gonna have some issues. First will be this stuff we have here, set card status and other stuff, but I don't know if we actually need to maybe like start from the beginning instead of copying the whole code immediately. Let's see. Okay, so this kind of like looks like bombarding you guys with a lot of code. I don't know, even maybe we should take it step by step and then keep on adding this one at a time. So I think that should be much better. So go back to the div that we have, and inside the div, like I said, we are going to create an unordered list. So inside the unordered list right here, URL, and we're going to have the list, and the list item is going to be the card, the child is going to be the card that we created. So I have this card in here, so let's just add one for now, one of the card. Once the card is added, so we call it product card, so we need to import that also. Import product card from here. Go ahead and save this. Now we need to use this and replace what we have in our app.js. Now app.js, we have to replace the product card we have with a card wrapper. With a card wrapper. Go ahead and save this. Get back. Okay, that should be card wrapper, and we need to import a card wrapper from import card wrapper. Save that. You can actually see that showing up. Nice one. Go ahead and save this, and next go over here and create another list. So we are in our other list, so we already should have 3 for now. Go ahead and save this. You can actually see how everything is being stacking on top of each other, so that's cool for now. Save those. Next, we need to style our URL list. This way I'm gonna get my styles from. Okay, styles. So we're going to create another file in here inside our card wrapper, and that should be our style file. I'll say this, and once in there, I'm going to copy the whole styles that I have over here, and then we'll go ahead and spread what we did and what the styles are doing. So paste that in here. So over here we have a container style, a container span style, card carousel for our, animating our card carousels and all the stuff, card carousel defaults, which should be the center one, and left button for styling our left button, for styling our right button, and also we have for card image, and so on and so forth. So yeah, card nest, card previous, card inactive, card nest, card previous, and that's it. So we have a media query also here on the screen, and if the maximum width is 600, so we need to do this this way, and card previous we should transform like this. So we have this transform properties for transforming our cards. So this is basically part of the animation, scale and transform. And once we have that added, next we just need to go to the card wrapper that we created. Okay, let me see, trying to make sure I didn't miss any step or any stuff. First we need to import the styles. Over here, import the styles. So we imported the styles, and next let's see. You guys give me a moment. Let me actually see what's going on over here. Okay, yeah, we're back on. So over here, what I need to do is basically go ahead and say in here our card wrapper will be, are we adding some properties that we're going to basically. Before I do that, should I see the one style that we need to do first? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say over here for the URI, start with the styling. So this should be the styling. So we have the class name styles, which is getting from here the CSS module that we CSS style module that we created. So in there, that's what we created, and now we are calling that styles or card carousel, and we are using temporary editors and JavaScript temporary editor. And over here we are doing conditional rendering. I don't think we need this at the moment because we haven't created this container class name so far. So I think what we could do is just go ahead and move this path for now. Go ahead and save this. Okay, now we removed the list. You can actually, before this, let's go ahead and remove these parts for now. I could say before this, you can actually see the list style is still showing up here, so you can see the dots by the side. So for us to deactivate those list style and use our own styling instead of the list style, the native list style that comes with it. So that's why we are going to add this, use this card carousel style that we created from our CSS module right here. So if you scroll down, there should be card carousel. So our card carousel, this, you can actually see the list style none. So we are removing the list style and we're using padding 0, position relative, and that's it. So go ahead and save this. You see the list style being removed immediately from this section right there. And once we have that, so next stuff we can actually go ahead and style should be the list itself. And we're going to be using temporary editor for that also. Okay, so in here, let's say class name, styles.card, and if you're wondering where we get the styles.card, save this again. So if you're wondering where we get the styles.card, so we got that from here, from our styles module, which is styles.card, which is basically this right here. So there's the styling for it, and that basically removed one of the cards. So yeah, I think that should be what it should be doing. Next, okay, let's see. Okay, gonna copy some code which I'm gonna explain what we are doing with it. It's gonna have been a long time since actually done anything view this code base, so just came back and everything's gonna like strange a bit, trying to wrap my head in it. So over here, let me see, I'm gonna say in here. Okay, what did I do? Not, yeah, let's go ahead and paste these codes. We're going to be using this in our app right now, and in here we are having style on change or card change. So you can actually listen for this function: container class name, card class name, left button, right button, auto rotate. We set this to be true. You can decide to turn it off. We are allowing the user to turn it off, anyone to turn it off, whoever's trying to use this card wrapper, anywhere we are trying to use it. And then rotation interval, we can set it to any seconds. Over here we are using 2000 milliseconds, not seconds, 2000 milliseconds. Yeah. Children property also for the basically in React, that's what we call children properties. So children's are basically, yeah, I think the name, the way it sounds, children are basically child of the component, or the childs of the component that's going to be inside, in between the components parentheses. Yeah, the closing, opening, and the closing of the component. Anything in between there is called a component children. Yeah. So right in here, let's go ahead and start using this. So for the first one, and for the div, let's start the div first. I'm gonna copy the styling over, and then we can just talk about it. So here is the div, so I'm going to add the styles to the div. If I go ahead and save this, we are going to have an error. I don't know if you guys noticed. So we already have something called styles.container, which is from here, right here. So we are setting the main container to display flex. Flex direction is row, and aligns items to the center, margin bottom, margin top, padding, all this stuff have already been added. And then in here we are having something called classes.container, but there's no place to actually see the classes. That's because we haven't created that classes styles. So we need to create that classes styles still using material styles, on how to create styles with material styles. So I'm going to say before the return statement, so we have classes to use styles, but we need to create this use styles. In here I'm going to explain what we are doing with the use styles. So there we go. So here's the use styles that we are creating. So we are using material make style itself, but we need to import that also. I forgot to import that from material. Yeah, so we import make style from material UI core styles, and in there we are saying we are getting access to the theme. So there's something being provided in this function by material UI. They give us access to the theme parameter, theme object, not parameter. So the theme object is basically, we can use that, we can get the breakpoint. There's so many other stuff the theme object offers, but over here what we are saying is that we are creating a container, a styling on a container. We are checking a breakpoint, so we are saying theme.breakpoint down to when it's small. So we want the width to be 80%. So we want the width of the container, wherever we are going to add this container, when it's on smaller device, we want the width to be 80%. So that's what we are trying to do right here. I think, yeah, I'm actually check this again. Should verify that we are on the right track. Yeah, material UI breakpoints. So we have, yeah, breakpoint or down, medium. So over here we're saying change this to secondary main, primary main, based on, okay, if it's down and if it's up. So up means above. Yeah, I think. So done. So let's see what it does means again. So say okay, so basically it means a breakpoint key, which means XX SM etc, or a screen with number with number in pixels returns media query. Media query string ready to be used with most starting position matches the screen width less than the screen size given by the breakpoint. So yeah, basically this is saying whenever you're on a smaller devices than smaller devices, so make the width to be 80%. So I think yeah. So over here we can actually use that right in here. So if you go ahead and save this, let's see the changes we're going to have. So go back to what we have in here. Go and save this right now. Actually see the width that's been given to this. Let's say we have this. Keep on going. Okay, nice one. So now we added the styles and we can able to use the styles, and we are no longer having the issues that we were having previously. Next is time to actually add other stuff for the code. So I'm going ahead and add some other code path. So in here, so URI on ordered list. So let's go ahead and explain this. So over here we are adding our own styling to this unordered list that we have here. The CSS style property, can actually say style there. So we are destructuring where this style in here. So basically, where is this style property coming from? This parameter is from here. So what we are saying is that let's say whoever is going to use this card wrapper and they want to add their own styling to the main card wrapper itself, because this card wrapper, this styling means this is the main card wrapper itself. So whoever is going to use that and you're trying to add your own styling in here, so what you are going to do, so we're going to destructure the style prop, any other style properties they are added, and use that to also modify the unordered list style. Then in here we are having a class name, and let's say if a class name is being added. So far we already have a class name right here, which is from us. You can see styles.card carousel, which is coming from this CSS here. Card carousel, which is our own card. Style name, class name, I mean to say, or yeah, basically style name, any other stuff. And in there we are also adding a space, or we are giving the user, any user, the ability to actually add their own class name and modify any other stuff they want to modify. That we are saying if the class name is existing, which is this, go ahead and use the class name. Else go ahead and use styles.carousel default, which is this, styles.carousel default. This will go. If you go ahead and save that, see, there we go. When that was not saved, so when we didn't add this, okay, this was small, and when we added it, it went this way. So yeah, that's cool. So right now I think you guys already have a grasp on what this is all about, and it's no longer confusing. Yeah, like I said, this is for user that wants to add their own styles, and this is for user that also want to use class name to edit their own style or add a modification to what we already have in here. And after that, next stuff you can actually do, let's see. So styles.card, I'm gonna add its own styling also. Okay, there we go. So the same card class name. So whoever that wants to change the card, so these are called card. We want to add a styling to change the card. You can just use your own card class name, and if it exists, add it here. Else, add an empty string, so that means there's no extra class name added. So we save that. We see there's no stuff changing the UI, still the same. So we need to still add this to all the card. Go ahead and add this to all the card we have so far. You're going to notice we add this to all the cards. We're going to hide the cards. So let's see, class name. Okay, paste and do the same right in here. Paste the code. So you just add that right here. Go ahead and save this. Yeah, we have a chat. Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for the compliment. I don't know if I'm that great, but thanks there about. Yeah, I think there's Akani. I don't know if I got the name pronunciation right. Just let me know. Thanks for the compliment, like I said again. So back here, if you just save this right now, you can actually notice that the whole card just disappeared. We no longer have any card showing up in our UI. So we need to fix those. If you want to know why that is happening, because we are using something called styles.card, and we are saying when styles.card started being hidden, and also the position started being obsolete, and it's kind of still in the screen but we can't find it. So that's what's going on here, and we can actually see style.card active. If it's active, this will be shown. If it's not active, this will be the class name. So inactive, the opacity is 0, so that means the card is not seen. And if it's active, so that means the opacity should be 1 and the card should be seen. So that's what is going on here. So if you go back to our card wrapper, let's go ahead and see if there's other changes that we need to do before moving to where we start adding the functionalities for the movement of the whole card and eSave. So right now, so let's go ahead and start adding the functionality that we need to start getting everything to work. So I'm gonna add a code called default card. So over at the top over here, so we have a list that contains all the card that we created. We have 3 cards, and we're calling these cards to be default. So I'm gonna tell you guys why we are doing this. If you still remember, we are actually making it possible that a user can be able to override any of these changes that we're making here and add their own to it. So that's why we are doing this. So card, product card, key, child 1, child 2, child 3. And then we have the image or headset, image or laptop. But we need to go ahead and add this so far to our image exports. Yeah, that reminds me, we haven't exported those stuff. So let's go back. I think that should be here. Yeah. So I'm going to export the image laptop. And next, we need to export the phone image also. Yeah, we need to export the phone image. So let's go. Should be somewhere here. Add a comma and add a comma below there. And if the laptop image, we need to import it from here. So I'm gonna say import, not headset 2. We don't have anything like headset 2, so it's called laptop.png. So replace this with laptop. Yeah, laptop.png. And next we're going to import, still name it laptop. Okay, no, come on guys, what am I even doing? So name this to be phone, and that should still be called laptop, and laptop.png, and this should be called phone. There you go, and this should be called phone. For the music, I can't remember the name of the music, but if you want me to send it as a file, I can send it to you. You can just drop your email or whatever. I can just forward the music. I think it's about 10 MB. No, I think they're about 1 gig. So let me see. Because it's kind of like a combination of different music. So I found that on YouTube. Let's see. What's name? Actually shake from somewhere here. Let's see what it's being called. What's the name of the music? What's the name? Okay, I think it's called video playback. I think that's what I saved it with. Should be somewhere right here. Okay, there we go. And it's about 490 MB. So if you need it, I can send it over, but I've forgotten the name. But it's a combination of different electronic music. So EDM, yeah, EDM music called electronic music. So that's the combination of music right there. Yeah. So far, let's go ahead and continue with this. So over here. For Flutter, so can you just put me in the right direction? So what exactly do you want to learn Flutter? Are you a beginner or you're already working on Flutter? So I can actually know where to start. So let me know, are you a beginner or you're already working on Flutter? Which one? So we added this images right in here. So let's say we added the image like I did so far, and now we can be able to import the images. So I could say import headset image. I think that's still what we call it here. Okay, yeah, it's called headset right here, but it's called image asset. That's what we call it. So I'm gonna say image import image asset from image assets, and then image asset dot, this the first one should be headset dot headset, and then next one should be image asset dot laptop image, and the next one should be image asset dot phone image. When I format this, save it, and now we still have nothing on the screen, just trying to fix what we have here, and that's fixed. Next, let's see what else we need to be adding. So we also need to import our test that we created. Remember the time we created the test and we called it custom test. I think that's what we called it, custom test. Okay, so let's see how to import this. Okay, we call the details. Okay, I forgot. Should we call details, import details from custom test? Yeah, save that. Okay, yeah, sure, I will definitely send the link to the email. Sure, no problem, I will send it over. I haven't kind of like listened to the music for that to know if it's good, but seems like you guys like it, so I will send it over. Just can actually drop me your email maybe on my Instagram. I think I could, yeah, I should be able to remember. Just drop your email on my Instagram, I should be able to send it over to you. Yeah, I think that works fine. Yeah, based on the Flutter you are asking for, just let me know your level with Flutter. If you're a beginner, I will know where to start. So if you're not a beginner, mid or senior or even lead, I'll just know where to start or what you actually the advice you're looking in particulars. Yeah, so we have this. See, so we imported the details for the custom test we have, so I'm going to create a function in here. Okay, in here I'm going to create a function at the top. The function will be called set card status, and we're going to pass an indexes, the whole indexes of the cards, and then pass a card index, and you're going to check if indexes, the current index is equals to the card index. So we are going to say return styles.active, that becomes the active card, and do the same, and else if indexes.next index, so the next index is equals to card index, then the styles dot becomes next, and so far the same previous index is equals to card index, styles dot become previous, and else return styles to become inactive. So that's basically what we have here so far. And after adding that, so next inside our component. So right now we actually did these ones outside the component, not inside our component. But inside the component, I'm going to add this one. So we are going to have card items children or default card. Now you see the reason why we created this this one right here, this list, this dummy list that are called default cards. Like I said, that's because we want to give the user an access to be able to use their own, to add their own card instead of the card that we have right here. So this card that we have right here, or they can just add their own, and we call it children. So there we go. So far, and next we have this use state that has an object inside it, and the object has a parameter called previous index. So previous index will be card items dot minus dot length, card items dot length minus 1, and current index should be 0, and next index should be 1. So that's how we structure this. And next, after adding that, so I'm gonna add another code. So basically copying the whole stuff over to actually speed up the whole stuff that we're doing. Next one I'm going to add is called card transition. Yeah, that reminds me that most of this code, when I was doing this, I kind of like got a code I think from somewhere. I was looking, yeah, from a library that does carousels. Yeah, I think I remember that was, I think that was from CodePen. Yeah, so over here I'm going to paste this code over here. I'll go ahead and format this. So right there we have these two code that I just put. Is this 2 or 1? Let me actually make sure that I'm on the right track. So yeah, left button. Wait a second. Let me see. Yeah, I think there's 2 codes. So one is called handle card transition. So this will be called is a use callback from React. Here we are using use callback function. This basically what it does is check if we have reached the end and start again from the first card, but carry the previous value over. So basically washing through the card and see which current position we are, and then either repeating the whole loop again or kind of continue the current card. So over here we have the left button, handle left button click. So basically for the handling click, if we have reached the end, start again from the left card and but carry from the previous over. So yeah, for the left button click. So that's what this code is doing, but we're going to see this whole stuff in action when we kind of goes more deep into what we're doing. So I'm gonna, next one will be a use effect that we are going to copy over and use effects. This should be our use effect from React itself, but all this stuff is going to throw some errors right now. So we need to import use callback, use effect, and use state. So over here, add a comma here, then go ahead and say import use effect, comma, import use callback, and import use state. Yeah, those are the 3 import that we need, so that we won't be able to, so that this shouldn't fail, because if we didn't import it, this will fail. So inside our use effect, we are calling something called on-card change and an on-card change. So basically what we are saying that if the user passed a function to know whenever there's a card change, go ahead and pass an index for the current card changes. And over here we are using constant for transition interval, we're using set interval. Auto rotate, if auto rotate is true, go ahead and always call handle card transition whenever this use effect function is called. And then we have the rotation interval that we want. Basically over here we are setting the rotation interval to be 200 milliseconds, so this will be automatically be called, the set interval will be called every 2000 milliseconds, and thereby calling this function handle card transition. And then we have return keyword. Basically this return keyword in React, we call it creating our use effects. Basically, let's say so it's a kind of a way to clean up your use effect. Yeah, basically a clean up function. That's what this return is doing, and nothing more. And what we are doing here, we are clearing our interval. And to clear interval, we use a function called clear interval, and you pass in the interval that you want to clear. Over here, this is the interval that we want to clear, and this will remove the interval from existing anymore. So in here we have this parentheses, which is the array for monitoring some dependencies changes. So we are looking, the dependencies right here is called handle card transition, which is our use callback right here. And instead of use callback, we are also monitoring indexes or current index. Whenever there's a change in the current index, this is being called, and that's what this is doing. Also, whenever this is being called, this use effect will also run. And also the same with the indexes, and also the same with auto rotate. So all those are the dependencies we are watching, and over here we are watching this one particular dependencies, and also the same here we are watching this particular dependencies. And with that, so we can just go ahead and start adding some other stuff that we need, because right now we are not even seeing any stuff in the screen, and we need to go ahead and fix those ones. Let's start. In here I'm gonna say card, so that should be list, right? Yeah, list. Inside the list, style class name. After the card property that we added, I'm gonna add another class name, which is going to be called set card status. Remember the set card status that we are going to pass indexes and then pass the current index of that card, which is basically what we are doing here. Set card status, pass an index, pass the current index of the card, and then it basically returns styles.active or styles.next or styles.inactive or styles.previous to us, and we're using that to modify this particular list right here. So go ahead and save that. You see, this is the only card that's showing up at the moment. You see, it's kind of like doing on its own because this is on auto rotates. You see, they keep on calling itself, rotating around. Basically, what we are doing is that this is not actually rotating in a real sense. We're using transform to actually make it look as if it's rotating around the whole axis. So on the next card in here, just copy the same code and use it on the next card, which should be this one, and we're going to pass the index to be 1. Do the same right here, and we're going to pass the index to be 2. Now if you go ahead and save this, now we are going to have the real card, the whole 3 cards showing up here. I can actually see how every single one of them is rotating. This one goes, this one comes in, this one goes, this one comes in, this one goes. So you see the rotation going all around. Just see if it's rotating in a circle, but like I said, it's not actually rotating in a typical circle. Let's see what else are we missing right now? Okay, let's continue. Yeah, think that's it. If you go ahead and let's say the user say that it doesn't want this to be in auto rotate, so let's say we go ahead and cancel the auto rotate and set the auto rotate to be false. If you save that, you will see the rotation stops because we set the auto rotate to be false. If you go ahead and set that back to true, you see the auto rotate starts happening. There should be an auto rotate. but we are going to make it possible, maybe a way for the user to toggle the auto rotate on and off or something like that. Yeah. So right now, the next stuff you can actually do, let's see if there's something we are missing. I think is to start adding the buttons and all those stuff to the app. So in here, I'm gonna copy some code over. So right below somewhere here, I'm gonna paste this code for the button that we're going to be seeing at the bottom right away somewhere here. And there's, if you take a look, you can, what did I open? And if you take a look, you can actually notice there are some issues that we need to fix also. One being this, if you see this, the main one is that this button only shows up on the current card, but the one we currently have right now is showing up on the whole card, so which is not what we're trying to achieve. So right here, I pasted the code. Let me explain the code. So what the code is doing, that we are saying if right button exists. So maybe the user might not want to add a right button or left button. So we are saying if this is true, go ahead and show this right button somewhere here. Else, go ahead and show arrow forward. So basically, if the right button exists, show the user custom right button. Else, show this particular button right. This our own button right here. So if I go ahead and save this. So let's see, handle card transition. I think something went wrong. Okay, what actually happened? Okay, let's take a look at our console and see what we did wrong. Okay, arrow forward is undefined, so I see. So we have to add that. Arrow forward is basically an icon from Material UI. Arrow forward and arrow back. So we just need to add those at the top, import them at the top over here. Import. So our import, we have an arrow forward and also an arrow back added to it. Now we shouldn't be able to have issues again. So let's start this. Everything start working. You can actually see the arrow forward showing up here. And next, let's see. So we have the class button btn on click, handle card transition, the same stuff we did here. So btn, class btn. So where is the class btn? Do we actually create that right here? Let's see. I don't think so. So that's definitely from, okay, I missed the css, so I need to copy the css over also. Yeah, I see. So inside our index.cxs or app.cxs, which one? So previously it was, okay, we have index.cxs, we have app.cxs, but index.css is what we don't need. We're going to keep that, and we are going to delete the app.css, which is from, we don't need that. Also, just delete the app.css, move to trash. We're going to keep the index.css. And then copy paste the code that we want to paste in there. So let's see. So we have the body, button visible, and all those stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete all this stuff right from here all the way down. Delete them, and I'm going to paste my own code. And then paste the code somewhere here. You can actually see the button class that I'm talking about. That should style our nav button to actually look like this, what we have here. That's why I'm copying the CSS over, and go ahead and save this over. And other styles were also applied. I'm going to explain what's going on. So if you take a look right here, you can actually see the CSS for this is taking shape and it looks good. And next we have this body after. So it's a CSS modifier and body after. So basically we have before, after, and yeah. So we're saying body after, we add this icon tag basically an icon in here, and we are going to change the color to white and use font style to increase the size, and position should be absolute right. Just kind of like position it differently, so we can actually do this more. See body before, body after, so you can actually add this more in here, more of these icons. See, this looks too in there. So that's basically what we have so far with this. And next, the button that's in charge of this, right in there. Okay, we're using test line already, so let's leave the test line in there. So I'm gonna scroll up and go back to our card wrapper in here. I can actually see the button is being fixed. Now we need to add the left button also. So for the left button, this is how we're gonna add that. Yeah, let's see. Left button, so I'm gonna copy the code and bring it in here for you guys, and then we can just go ahead and talk about it. Okay, so here we have the left button also added, and we're saying if left button exists by the user, then maybe they're adding their own custom button. Go ahead and do this, else go ahead and use our own button. So if you take a look right now, you can actually see the two buttons showing up. But the responsiveness is not actually good at the moment. See how this is working, so we need to do some changes and fixes to it. So for now, let's leave this way, and I think that finalizes it for our card wrapper. Let me see if I'm missing any other stuff. Okay, I think everything is actually good. Yep. Yeah, I think so. Except that I need to add a key properties to all this stuff. I need to think that's what I'm missing, so I kind of know that maybe I'm missing something. Let me see. Okay, so let's say we already also need to add in here. Okay, let's then changes I need to do. Nope. So go ahead and save this, and then head into app over here. So I think this is where we need to do some other changes. And instead of app.js, I'm gonna create a makefile. In here at the end for styling, so we need to import this makefile also. there. We go ahead and import that, and next we need to use that in here. Basically remove this count, we don't need the count anymore, so basically paste this, and in here for the stock classes, basically go ahead and use, say, classes dot root, because we have roots. For view button, that should be the button over here. For this button below here, we are going to add a letter on, so go ahead and save this. Okay, so we're having an issue right now, so it says classes.root card wrapper fail to resolve import app.css from okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So there's nothing like app.css anymore, so basically remove this, and also remove React logo, remove use state, those we don't need again. Go ahead and save this, and there we go. So have a card wrapper showing up here, and is inside a div that we're using. So inside the div we have this, we have a card wrapper in there. So next I'm going to add this button that should be underneath here. So the button, remember we're going to be using our read more button that we already created, so we don't need to create another new button. Yeah, so I'm gonna use that somewhere right below here, and then import the read more button at the top. Let's say import read more button from here. Go ahead and save this. We should be able to see the button, but it's actually hanging over here. Okay, so you can actually see the button, but it's actually hanging over here, so we need to actually fix that also. And it's actually using classes, the view button at the top. So let me see, use styles, make styles. Okay, so let's continue. Next stuff we can actually go ahead and do right now. Let me see. See, okay, just okay, I didn't remove this. I need to remove this one. Need that code. Let's see if there's any other stuff. Okay, guys, just pardon me a bit. I'm trying to cross check. I think I messed stuff up. Trying to see where that happened. Okay, so the next one we're going to add is the header path of the project. So over here we need to add this header top here. So let's go ahead and add that, then we can just tackle other part of the app and then know how to fix other ones. So add that, that should be over here. I'm going to create a component. I think I already have a component called header. Let's see. So the component we have card header. So yeah, I know we have header. I'm going to create a component called heading, subheading, and again a wrapper. So I'm going to say heading .txx. Another one called sub heading .t, not tx, that's jxx. Come on, we're not using TypeScript, so that should be jxx. Remove the t, change the t to j, and last but not the least is the wrapper. It's called wrapper.jsx, and we can just start with the heading. For the heading components, I'm gonna copy the code that we need in there, speed this up, so I'm gonna paste it in here. So basically the same way we are making our styles using material UI styles helper function, and then we are using, inside our heading we are passing a title, and inside the title we are using typography from material UI itself, and we are passing the title parameter in here, and we're saying classes or root to style it. I'm going to save this. We should have to do the same for subheading. Subheading, I'm going to copy the same different code. I think it was almost the same, so just a bit of changes. And I would say basically I wanted it to be a separate component, so I made it a separate component. But in most cases, it would have much better if I actually made it a one component, and then just say we have a pass and a parameter here that we can just toggle the parameter if it's a sub, or maybe you can just add variants. So we say variant should be heading, sub, or any other stuff. So whenever the user, someone adds maybe a heading or sub, we can just change the styles to different styles. So but yeah, just trying to let you know guys, there's other ways to actually achieve this without creating multiple components. And last, we have the wrapper. The wrapper could actually be called an index also. In this case we just call it wrapper. Wrapper, we have the styles that we created like this, and we create a wrapper which is inside is actually a header function that we're using. And actually this is a good use of semantic HTML. So we are using header to denote there's the header, then inside a heading which is an H1, and subheading which is a body or H2 or paragraph, something like that. And subtitle over here we had coded it somewhere, yeah. So go ahead and save this right away, and then we can decide to use this because we are exporting it directly, so we can just use this in our app.jsx. It should be at the top over here. There you go. And then we can just go ahead and import it. Say import this from this. Yeah, I think that should be it. Go ahead and save this right away right now. Control C to save. Should I see the top heading taking shape? You can actually see how good that looks. So let's cross check this. See, I have the same stuff showing up. Next we need to fix is basically the issue that we're having right now. So this is working, is actually good, it's working fine, but the one we have right here is not actually working in the same way. I think something went wrong, something is wrong. I'm trying to figure out what we did wrong. I think that should be one of the fixes that we need to do. You can actually see the buttons are working. Tapping on the button is actually changing it. Also do the same right here. Tapping on the button changes it back. And also you can decide to go ahead and toggle this off. Where do we go? The easiest, okay, yeah, the perfect place to actually do that, since we are exporting it, we'll just add that in here. So that's all called auto rotate. So auto rotate, you can set that to false. Now once I set to false, you see this will stop rotating, and you can only rotate it from tapping on the buttons. That's cool. And then we can just decide to set the auto rotate to true, and then this will actually start rotating again, and that's actually nice. So that's cool. You can set it to true like this, or you can just keep this way. If you keep it this way, still auto rotate true, so any way you want. So this way is actually minimizing the amount of code that we're writing shorthand. Yeah, I think that's is the first part. The second part is actually getting this to actually work this way. Now I have to figure out what we are doing wrong that's making this not to be centered, as I don't think I'm missing any stuff. Let's see, because if we actually go ahead and minimize this, you see, that's not looking fine. That's actually bad, terrible. That's really bad. It's not what we are expecting. I think most of this must be down to the card wrapper I'm using. Let's see. Come on. Index.js, yeah. Okay, what did I get it wrong? Even I still have the same code, because I kept this side by side and we're just working with it, but for some good reason that I don't know, for some good reason which I'm yet to find out, this is, okay, I have card wrapper. So let's go back. I have this card wrapper also. I think most of the mistake might be from here. I guess so. So we have use effect, arrow styles emoji.cxs, we imported that. Okay, make styles, we added that too. Okay, details, we haven't used this yet, so but we're going to use it later on. In here we have use styles, okay, which we added. Okay, let's see. So classes and the transition. Okay, and the transition. And inside our parent div we have class name, okay, styles or container, classes or container, and left button, right button, left button. Okay, yeah, see arrow back, style, font size, this, okay, URI, and under the list, style dot style, class name, styles dot card carousel, this, okay, this. Okay, I think one stuff we can actually go ahead and fix right now. Yeah, I think that's something we need to fix. First and foremost, it should be this. Remember when we created a card, we used a kind of like hard-coded code in here, but we need to fix that right now. So I need to fix that from using so that we cannot use the hard-coded code anymore. So for this read more button, we want this to be shown dynamically. I'm going to add some props that we're going to be watching these props. So we are not using TypeScript. If you're using TypeScript and we are trying to do this will actually throw some whole lot of errors and complaints to us. Not an error, but basically complaint to us that it doesn't know what image show title is. Actually I don't want it to know what image and other stuff is. But TypeScript always complains about that. So I'm going to make this to be dynamic. One way to make that to be dynamic, I'm going to copy a code and paste. It's still the same code, just I wrapped it with this section here where I'm saying if show is true, go ahead and show this card icon. That because we don't want this to be shown on every card. So that's why I'm adding this particular code. Next, we are going to utilize the title. So the title needs to change also. So we're going to say title. There you go. Next, we're going to use the image, and image need to change also. So we're going to replace what we have here with img. And next we have the details. So the details, okay, now I think the details should be here, details, but we need to delete this and delete the image asset that we added here. We don't need both of them anymore. If you go ahead and save this right now, it's going to show some errors. Yeah, I'm expecting it, so it's time to actually fix the errors. So this is called detail, not details. I'm gonna save that more, and you can actually see this showing up here, but not the way we want it. So to keep on fixing those, we need to go ahead and say product card indexes or current index is equals to 0. Show image should be headset. Do we have anything called a headset right here? So we're going to use image asset right away. So the image asset should be dot headset details. So details that we're going to be using is basically this details that we have somewhere here. details. Yeah. So you're gonna say details at index 0 dot title in detail at index 0 dot sub. If you go ahead and save this, actually see both of them actually looking nice. And we need to do this for other other product card also. Copy this, replace what we have here, delete, do the same, and replace what we have here with it. If you go ahead and save this right away, okay, I think something is missing. Details at index 2, product card, okay, let's inspect this and see where the issues is coming from. Okay, laptop image is not defined, so let's fix that. So image asset or laptop image, do the same right here, image asset or phone image. Go ahead and save this. Now we have this back up again and running. They're actually working perfectly good at the moment. Okay, that's cool. Except the styling, I have still having issues with that. Okay, I'm gonna run the styling again from the beginning. Basically run the app again from the beginning. I don't know what went wrong. Shouldn't be like this. Okay, something is wrong somewhere. That's basically happening at this point, which is basically the card wrapper section. That's where we're having this issue. Another list item, list item, and another list. Think. Come on. first thing, we can actually go straight to the CSS itself on our own and just try to figure out what's going on. Try to tweak some stuff, but I'm trying to figure out over here because I didn't do much. We just almost use the same code that we have to implement something, but for some reason we are having these issues. Okay, I think I know what to do, so I'm gonna comment this out. Paste some code over. Yeah, no, those doesn't exist, so we need to bring this back, these two back. Do the same right in here. Basically remove this. No, okay, remove this one. And then scroll up. Then you can just say, go ahead and save this. It's going to show some errors that we need to fix. Let's start with this. Yeah, do the same right in here. And last but not least is basically this one. If you go ahead and restart this, okay, and last but not the least should be basically this. And we're still in the same issues, so that's definitely not from the code that we wrote, so that's from something else. So we need to go back to the CSS and start fixing this. So just wanted to test out something and see if that works, but it didn't. So that's still all about CSS, our CSS, I think. Index of CSS that we're using. Okay, in here we have view button. Okay, we say that the root display, which is this div that we have right here. Let's start with that one. Let's start the fixes with that one and go up to other places. So we have this root, CSS root here. Over here saying display flex, okay, and display column. So that's basically this, and the last column being this. We should still need to fix that one. I think one way to actually fix that, let's go ahead and close this off, is to push this down. I'm gonna say 190 from the top, or I could actually say 260 from the top. So where that goes, okay, that's still go. Okay, 60 pixels from the top, from the bottom, 0 pixels from the bottom. Okay, that goes their way. Okay, let's see. Come on, shift a bit. Put this aside a bit. Let's see where we have these issues. Okay, push this a bit down, so it should a bit look like what we have here. Yeah. Okay, so say 290. No, yeah. Okay, that's piece more. I'm going to go ahead and use 350. Okay, that's too much. What about 330 and 320? I think that's okay, so we'll just leave it that way. And next we have to be able to position this in the middle. So actually I kind of like look off at the moment. It looks way off to me. Let's see, it looks way off. It should be somewhere in the middle right here and not all the way out like it is at the moment. Okay. That should be inside the car wrapper. On the car wrapper, we're using our CSS module, which is somewhere right here. Container flex row, align items is center, margin bottom 0 pixels, margin top 160 from the top. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so that's not what we're trying to get to. Okay, so we have, let's keep going. Let's say we have 250. Okay, default, carousel default. Okay, left button, position that already. We need to still work on left button. Card, which is 100%, height is 100%. Okay, transition is in. Okay, position absolute, scale 1. Okay, I don't think the issue is scaling. The issue right here is not scaling at the moment. The width has been shrink down. That's what we are trying to get to and fix. Okay, guys, what do you think is going on here? Let's have any idea. Let's say, okay, we have card image 100 pixel, object cover overflow hidden. Okay, let me see, put this common, so it should be 200 pixels. That will spoil this, make it to only contain 200 pixels at any point. So that's what we are trying to get to. We want this to actually be full 100 pixels, 100% scale through the whole parent. Let's see. Okay, think we got this. Shrink it down. I'm getting my head. My head is a bit tossing off here. Come on. Looks like we are not going to finish this today, but I just wanted us to complete this within these few hours we have. Right now, just hit an issue that we're actually trying to fix for past how many minutes right now? Okay, guys. Come on, 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 come on. So something is going on. Yeah, of course, we already know that something is going on. So let's actually take a look at our CXS debugging here. See what's actually is going wrong here. Okay, let's see. Card 100%. Card 100%. I don't know this. What we're actually doing right now is not affecting any other stuff. Okay. Okay, come on. Let's see where where I did the issue is coming from. I think I found it. So I'm not sure the one that messed this up. So over here we have this inside a product card. We have this stuff right here that says root max width. So we're setting the max width to be 290. So that's the maximum width this can get to. And then we didn't set the other properties on it, so we have to add position absolutes, not relative, so position should be absolute positioning. See that? So that's one fix to this, and that will fix the first path. So this, see that when it's positioned, it's kind of like going off. Once it goes off, this kind of enlarges and comes back. So to fix that, also we have to say top should be 50%. The top, each of the card should be 50% for the top. From the left, each of the card should be 50% from the left. And then we can use transform, translate minus 150, minus 50, not minus 150, that's too much. So minus 50 on the x-axis, base x and y. So minus 50 go this way. Let's actually go from the beginning and see. Okay, yeah. Let's say this should be minus 20 or minus 20. See where that's going. And then I said on x-axis always be at minus 50. Translate x, translate y. On y also minus 50. That kind of position it at the center. Then next we are going to have box sizing. We're going to use border box. Minimum height can actually get to is 500. Well, I'll save this. And next, card content, we need to add some styling for that also. In that case, I'm going to copy styling and paste it here, because for the card content, if you take a look, you see that this is not centered, so we need to center the card content. And for the card content, I will go over here and say classes, class name, just say classes dot content. Do the same for the second card content. Okay, we already have one. Save this. I can actually see the whole text is now centered no matter what, so everything is now centered. And let's see if there's something else we're missing. So we have the max width 290, and yeah, I think that should be it. Right now, if you go ahead and resize this on different devices, so it's taken out as stacks in the middle at the center, and you can actually see that we need to fix some stuff now. This one we need to fix, so we need to reduce this from the top. So where did we actually do that? We did that in app.js, where we actually placing this, and let's say it was to 220, about 160. Yeah, I think 160 is okay, so leave that at 160. If you can go ahead and keep on resizing this, so actually how that works, you kind of keep going by sizing, gets to the smaller screen, looks like this. Keep on resizing anywhere you want it to look. Then we have these two buttons staying by side, because right now this is positioned in the middle. And if you go ahead and tap on this, see that this is working. And also likewise, the read more button that we added here is also working too, except that the read more button has some issues, so that this test shouldn't be kind of like looking this way, so we need to fix that one also. For the read more button, let's see how to actually fix that. So that should be, where did we actually add that? Read more should be inside the styled component. Inside the styled component, I'm gonna say okay, padding 23 pixels. Nope, what did I do? Okay, this is too wide, so let's minimize this a bit. It's still wide, so I cannot go ahead and minimize this more. And looks like we actually expanded this a lot more. Okay, I think that's okay at this point. So this shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't look this way. This should stretch. Fix that. That should be starting first. Should be in the card, the product card. Front heading. Then the heading. Just remove this. You're going to see how this test is still kind of like okay. So if this is show, if not, if that's not the default, so something is going on. So something is actually changing the styles of this stuff. Where is that? Okay, border reduce 50, color white, height 28. see. So what will the font size? So let's try this font size. Okay, that's too bold. That's definitely not what we're looking for. So 0.4, okay, that's too small. But even if you could leave it this small, still okay, that's not happening. So I think something is wrong somewhere. That's why we're having that issue. See that? Okay, so the issue right now is basically the padding we give to the button. So I think that was actually causing the issue. And whenever the new card is being displayed, that's in some way being messed up. So still trying to see why that's happening. So right now I'll be able to reduce that. I'm not seeing any issues. So I'm gonna say 20 pixels padding top and down. Let's see how that works. Okay, 20 pixels padding top and down, that's working fine. Move the font size and see how that works. Okay, now that's a bit messed up. I'm gonna say 0.9 em. Okay, that's too much. 0.7 em. What about 0.8? Okay. Then we can go ahead and center this again by using margin. Now it's centered. Okay, right now we're not having that issue, so I'll go ahead and restart this. See what we got. Okay, the tab fixture is working. Can I actually see that? Okay. Also, likewise this. And you can actually go ahead and test this again by adding the chevron icon that we removed. And I think if this works, you can actually call it a day. Yeah. Okay, that's messing it up again. Let's see. So adding font size, just say padding left, padding at all should be 0 pixels, margin on this one should be 0 pixels. Still, that didn't add any changes. Over to start component. I'll add a padding set this to 10 pixels. Okay, so we added this. I think I can actually duplicate the two button and then make some changes. So let's say we added this in there, and that's the changes that we made right now is affecting the second button, which is below here, which has the view all products on it. So let's test out something. View all products. Yeah, view all products. Save that. Okay, this is actually working fine, but this is not. Why is that so? Okay, there are some changes we still need to make, but let's tackle it first. But after this, maybe in our next stream, probably tomorrow, then we can actually tackle the next ones. So for this one, I'm just going to leave this to be still read more. Just keep on leave it to still be read more. And next, what I could do, I can actually make the test to be responsive even if it's on smaller device. That's how to do that by using cramp CSS feature to actually make this so responsive depending on the device that's being viewed, and basically shrinking it down a bit on smaller device. And this one, I can actually make this a second button, create a second button for the second one. I'm gonna call this view button. This view more button. Save that, and then we can use this view more button. Say 30. Save that, and then where we added this, which is basically on app.jsx, instead of app.jsx, I'm going to go ahead and add that. Replace read more with this. Also do the same right here. Replace this with this. And finally, we can actually go ahead and say, yeah, we need to import this. Then go ahead and save this. Now I see this is kind of like now different from what we have here. Still taking its own shape. Just need to reduce the margin top. So the padding top is too much. So we need to reduce the padding top a bit. Where do we do that? So it shouldn't be 30, so let's try around 25. What about around 20? Okay, that's too small. 23. I think that should do. Yeah. And then this one is actually working fine on bigger devices. The button is still working fine on bigger devices, but immediately we switch to smaller devices, you can see how this actually started messing up. So we can work on these ones tomorrow. Yeah. But for now, today we kind of be stopping here because it's kind of 3 hours plus right now on the stream. Yeah, so that's it, guys. And also I'll be uploading um the the project file on my repo, on my GitHub repo. You can actually check it out on my GitHub. So if you're not following me on GitHub, you can just go ahead and follow me on GitHub, where I have all my projects listed out there for free. You can just copy, use the code, any of them. There's a whole lot of stuff you can actually use on my GitHub repo. So go ahead and check it out. So, and also, like I said, I'll be adding this one too. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. If you feel like there's something that I did wrong, just comment it down on the comment section, and I will sure actually take a look. We will talk more. We are not done yet, so I'm thinking of adding some stuff. Like I said, there are some issues that I figured out, right, that we still need to fix, but that will depend. Maybe probably tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow we'll be working on that more. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. Have a nice day, everyone. Take care. See you guys tomorrow also.